is to install an operating system on my Raspberry Pi. So I had many to begin, I had many options of what operating system I would put on it. A few of them would be, whether it was Raspbian, there was RISC OS, there was Arch Linux. You can even put Android on it. So I decided to go with Raspbian because Raspbian looked most familiar to me. I think it would look most familiar to you because it has a traditional desktop environment. I chose it just also it looked easiest of all the operating systems. Arch Linux looked like for the power user. RISC I know nothing about, and Android, unless I'm reading old information, it sounds like it runs Android 2.3.3, which is usable. I use a phone as a personal assistant every day that runs that operating system, but I do find a lot of software doesn't work on Android 2.3.3 anymore. Also, it looked like Raspbian was one of the better supported operating systems by the community. So I also that's another reason why I chose it. So how do we get the operating system on the Raspberry Pi? First, you have to collect all our tools. Number one, we're going to need to get Raspbian. Number two, it comes in an image file. An image file is basically as if someone took a CD, took all the individual files, and all combined it all into one file, similar to a zip, but not quite, and put it onto one file. So then you can take that one file and transfer it around, and then you can use a program to basically burn it onto a CD. In this case, we want to take that one image and extract all the files onto an SD card. So we also need an SD card. We have to make sure the SD card is empty. So any SD card you have, make sure there's no photos, no media you want to keep, because it's going to be gone by the end of this. Okay. So Raspberry Pi. Then we need power. So I need a power cable. This is my old BlackBerry Playbook power cable. It's USB. And there's the adapter. It's a USB, micro USB on the side. And then you need Raspbian. Now, I'm going to use my CD that came with Linux User and Developer magazine. It's an older one. You're best to go on the internet and get the newest one. I'm just kind of limited on bandwidth, so I'll show you where I would get it, which is right here, raspberrypi.org. Click on the download link, and there's also another way to install it, which is called Noobs. It will allow you to install various forms of operating system for the Raspberry Pi. But I just want to see if my Raspberry Pi still works, because it's been in storage for a while. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna stick with Raspbian, which is right here. You can download as a torrent if you know how to do that. If you do not, download it as a zip, and then you have to unzip it. Now we'll go to my desktop here. Here it is on my desktop. As you can see, it's 2013 May edition. I'm just going to use this for now. You'll get, I think, a February edition. Let's find out quickly here. Yeah, February 2015. So you'll be much more up to date. So after you download it, You have to extract it. One of the main reasons why I'm actually using CD copy is I'm limited on bandwidth, so this way I conserve on bandwidth. I'm going to be doing a large download of a TV series I helped kickstart on the internet very soon. Well, not TV series, internet video series, and it's very high quality, so I need to save all the bandwidth I can. I do recommend this magazine. It's a British magazine. Its name again is Linux User and Developer Magazine. It's a British magazine, really nice magazine. Okay, so here's the image. Then I need a memory card. I would say go for at least 8 gigabytes. It depends on what you're doing with the system. It depends on how much space you need. I'm going to use this as a regular computer. This is going to be when I want to use Linux software, just as a regular user, like desktop applications like word processors, paint programs, stuff like that. So I think 8 gigabytes would be enough for me. Eventually I want to make it into an emulation station. I will pop out my SNES and try to emulate some of the game cartridges I have, where I might want to have more space. But here for now, again, 8 gigabyte card. Then I need this program here. It's called Win32 Disk Imager. You can find it at SourceForge. SourceForge is a great source of software. Right there. So the address to get to the WinImager software. The WinImager software actually is basically the software that will take your image file and extract it. The address would be sourceforge.net/projects/Win32 Disk Imager. And just go to this green button here, download it. One good thing about SourceForge is I believe you can get older versions of software, but by default it always goes to the newest one. So there's the newest one. I would usually go save, but I already done this, so I'm going to go right to my desktop and run it. So there it is. Run. Next. I accept. I don't need that. Huh. Let's see if it works without worrying about that error code. And actually I forgot something. The SD card has to be in first. This program doesn't recognize it when you put it in. So SD card's in, doesn't recognize it, exit out, run Win32 Disk Imager one more time. And there it is. It's in the E drive. Then I use this folder right here, this folder icon, to find the disk imager. The disk image. It's a .img file. And you open it. Now, remember, your SD card will be erased, so make sure you have nothing on there you want. So go to write. Now it's going to take that image file and expand it onto the SD card. Again, make sure it's going to the right device too, just in case. So here we go. Writing to a physical device can corrupt the device. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Should be going. There's right down there, it shows it's going. Now the next thing, it should be ready to go. I should be able to get that SD card, put it into here, it should be ready to go. When you get, I'm using this on a Windows system obviously. When you get Windows, you have to install the computer and you're good to go. Linux is a little bit easier in some cases, and I think this is one of the cases where just pop it in and it's ready to go. You don't have to do anything else other than extract the files. Actually, that comment was a bit unfair and incorrect. Linux can have a lot of hardware incompatibilities and missing drivers for devices, but because the Raspberry Pi is one computer, the base installation of the operating system is easier, while Windows actually is easier for a multitude of hardware and software. Okay, I moved things around a little bit, but you should come up with this write successful thing, and it should be ready to go. So from this point, I'm going to take my SD card, put it in here, but I'm going to change angles so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better maybe. I don't know. The switch. Right back. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to now, you can see my monitor, got an SD card, got my Raspberry Pi. Now let's get the SD card, put it in so the contacts touch the inside, the bottom there. That. Okay. Now, so you got the storage. You're going to need the power. So this is the USB is going to power up this computer. Sorry, the Raspberry Pi, which is the computer. So there's the storage. There's the power. Then you need to plug this in. Now, I have the choice of plugging this into here and then plugging this into the wall, which gives me the power I want in a very stable, consistent way. I think this is the best option to do something like this kind of solution, because it's most reliable and most stable. I'm going to use my laptop, but I don't think that's the best option. It's just, for me, my power supply is in an awkward location right now, and it's just difficult to plug in at the moment. But my laptop is right below the monitor. So here we go. Actually, give me a second here. You can see all the lights here. The second one says PWR. That's one for power. I'm not going to go all the details of all those little lights right there, just above the USB ports. it says ACT, PWR, FDX, LNK, and then 100. Right now we're concerned that the second one lights up. The one that says PWR. Actually, you know what? I just forgot something. Since the operating system's in, and there actually is no physical on button, it's going to boot up right away. So I want to convert this monitor. I want to plug this monitor into this Raspberry Pi. So there goes my laptop. HDMI. So now everything is in. The final thing is the USB power. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. And you probably can't see it, but little light there says power, and you can see that. It's booting up. Awesome. My goal today is just to get it to the desktop, to a desktop. Oh, wow. So Pi tool, configuration tool. Okay, I know enough to, when you get to this screen, right there it says raspi-config. That if I hit finish here, it'll go to the terminal. To get back to the screen, I'm going to have to type in raspi-config. Enter. So I'm not going to go through all these options right now. Oh, shoot. Big issue. I need a way to control this. I need my keyboard and mouse. I'm gonna do something interesting here. I don't think it's gonna work, but here's the deal. I'm gonna go move the camera back a bit so you can see my setup a little bit better. Okay. So I use a wireless keyboard. It's a Microsoft wireless laser keyboard 5000. The mouse is also part of the Microsoft wireless laser mouse 5000 series. I'm going to try it. It is possible that it's going to work with the Raspberry Pi. So, if it doesn't work, I'm going to run it to the living room, and in my living room I have an extra keyboard and mouse. Lights on. Oh, light switch just went off. Oh! Fantastic. Doubt you can see that right now. Well, you probably could see it. It works. Oh my god. The reason why this is awesome is now I have an extra USB port. I was expecting to use both USB ports for mouse and keyboard, and then have to get a hub if I wanted more than those two input-output devices. Huh. I can probably install my game controller. This will be for next project. I'll show you something. I have an SNES style game controller. I actually have an SNES, which I'll show you next video. So here it says I can expand the file system, that all SD storage will be available. I'm guessing I know why. Interesting. As of right now, I'm wondering if it's fully installed. This might be just a live version of the operating system. And I might have to use number 1, expand the file system to fully use it. Change my password. Now, if you look in this menu, there's a lot of things in brackets. Those are usually the current setting. I don't know if you change it, if those things in brackets will change also. Like it says, change password for the default user. Default password is pi. By that, I would assume the username would be Raspberry then. Choose whether to boot into desktop or command line. Set up the language or regional setting. Configure overclocking. Rastrack. What the hell is Rastrack? I want to write that down and check that out later. Not really. Configure overclocking, configure advanced settings, information about this configuration tool. I'm just going to finish and see what happens. Oh. I got a prompt. Let's see if I can clear screen. I think it's CLS. No. CLR? No. I can't remember how to clear screen. I said the goal was to get into desktop, so let's just try to run the desktop and see what happens. I know Raspbian runs uses GNOME desktop, I believe. I'm pretty sure you start with an X windowing system usually by default. So I'm going to just do start X. Ooh, something's happening. That's nice. Awesome. So this is a program that comes by default. So I got the desktop working. It's already ready. Awesome. Preferences. Yeah, it's British English. But there's some words that are spelled differently than I'm used to, so I might have to change it to, see if there's Canadian English, I wonder. There's idle, scratch, and squeak. Those are programming tools. I've heard of scratch. I don't know what the other ones are. Okay, so let's just go through the menus here. There's Debian reference menu, Debian reference. So, oh yeah, Raspbian is a variant of Debian. File manager, Gcalculator, image viewer, leaf pad, LX terminal, root terminal. I don't know what the difference between LX terminal and root terminal is. I wonder if root terminal is only for super users. Education, scratch and squeak, which is also in the programming section. I already seen. Graphics. Hopefully there's some good graphic programs. Only XPDF. Well, at least you can read PDF programs. I will install my favorite paint program, which is GIMP, and Inkscape. Internet. I wonder what browsers it comes with. Dello, Midori, and NetSurf. WPA GUI. I don't know what those are. other tons of stuff to learn. Task manager, preferences. Run terminal. Let's run. Oh, cool. It's a Pi store. Hey, what's that all about? Oh, even if I don't have internet anyway. Yeah. I do not have a Wi-Fi adapter. I'm either gonna, my Wi-Fi internet router is behind that wall. So I'm either gonna have to put a cable through the wall and get to it, or I'm gonna have to get a Wi-Fi adapter. Well, a few more things I just noticed. So let me run a program here. By default, this version of Linux comes with desktops. If you look in the bottom left corner, there's virtual desktops. So if I run this little fact file, I can go to the desktop. I love desktops. Okay, well that's it for now. We got the desktop working. There's still a lot more to learn about the desktop. It might not even be fully configured yet, all I know. I think I'm going to jump right into learning how to get my SNES games onto this Raspberry Pi as my next goal. So, until next time, see ya.